G'day guys, I'm Cahn and this is Turnaway. And in this video, I want to share something that I've developed over about the past 10 years to help designing, building and planning 12-volt systems that work and importantly, that last. Because over those years, I've seen too many systems fail, not because of bad gear necessarily, but because people had the wrong expectations or focused on the wrong things. So over the past decade, I've probably designed, planned and built hundreds of 12-volt systems with what I now call the ideal system or the ideal method. 5 rules that'll help you design, plan and build 12-volt systems that actually do what you want them to do and that last. So this is going to teach you to think less like a shopper and more like a system designer. So first, I'll run through what ideal stands for, and then later I'll go in depth and explain how you can use it. So I is for inspiration, why you want this setup. D is for destination, where it will be and where it will go. E is for expectations, what performance do you need out of this system. A is for application, how are you going to make this system work? And then L is for limitations, things like space, weight and budget. So think of ideal like a pyramid. You've got your big lofty ideas on top that shape the whole pyramid itself, but it's supported by a strong, realistic foundation or base. Each level adds clarity and context, and you can always go back and adjust to change the overall shape and size. Now, I could go straight into showing you a step-by-step build video with wire sizes and batteries and fuse blocks, and I will do that. But right now, before you follow my video or anyone else's, it's important you learn how to think about the system to make sure it suits your needs. This video isn't about following steps, it's learning to think so that when you do follow a build video, you understand why people are doing it and how you can apply those lessons to your own build. And that's how you evolve from following instructions to actually learning to design systems that suit your purpose for yourself. When starting to think about a 12-volt system, most people jump straight to batteries or solar or chargers, and that's probably step 4 or 5. I've always said that every situation, every person, and every setup is going to be different, and it's really important to learn that. Because you and your mate might have really similar setups, you might even be camping next to each other, but just a slight variation in solar panel angle, or even a slightly darker colored vehicle could mean that your system is performing very differently to your mates. With Ideal, you'll get a system that actually works for you and lasts, and I can prove it. This system here in this Prado I installed about 2 years ago, and since then it's done over 60,000 Ks, and they weren't all just easy highway miles. For example, it's done the Vic High Country twice, it's crossed the Simo, been to Fraser, towed a caravan to Cape York, and it spent 3 months on a half lap from Sydney up through central Queensland, doing the Gibb River Road, the Kimberley, all the way to Broome, then back through Alice Springs, South Australia, and back to Sydney. So let's now go in depth on each of the letters of Ideal, starting with I for inspiration. Now I is the thinking stage. You want to really think about your dream setup, your dream trip, or what this setup will let you achieve. The practical tip here is to actually note it down or sketch it out. So get a page or a half a page and actually note down some of the things that you want, the dream items or the dream location. For the Prado setup, the inspiration was a setup that we could install and remove really quickly, and that didn't mean we had to actually remove the 3rd row of seats. That means it had to be standalone and it had to be temporary in a sense. We couldn't just bolt it down. Now, if your inspiration stage is wrong, then practically every dollar you spend after that is wasted, because while the setup might technically work, it probably won't work for you. D is destination. That is, where is the setup actually going to go? Is it in a car, a 4-wheel drive, a trailer or caravan, or even in a shed? And then the second half is where is it going to go once it's in that position? Now in a car, that might mean just local day trips. In a 4-wheel drive, that could mean remote off-grid locations. And a shed, well, you might have a dry and sealed shed, or you could have an open machinery shed, which is going to give you a very different answer to this question. The practical step here again is to note everything down. So if it's going in a vehicle, what vehicle is it going in? If it's going in a shed, is it going to be dry or might it have to deal with the elements? Now think about things like dust, vibration and moisture, but not only that, consider if you are going somewhere remote and off grid because you might be further from help, and that will dictate your system design in terms of backup, redundancy, and how critical everything is and how critically it needs to perform. So for the Prado setup, I knew it was going in a 4-drive that would be touring in remote destinations, which is going to face very different consequences than if it was in a caravan or a shed, and that helps to dictate the design. So this is the step where you realize what you actually need and not what you see on Instagram. E is for expectations, and this is the step where I see people making the most expensive mistakes. You basically need to think of this as, what do you want your system to actually be able to do? For example, running a fridge for 48 hours is a very different output to running a 3000 watt inverter for 20 minutes, even though they both use about the same amount of energy. So it's important not just to say, I want to run a fridge. It's important to say, I want to be able to run a fridge for 3 days and nights without recharging. Now the practical step here is to convert your vague ideas into slightly more concrete numbers. They can still be rough, but it's important to note things like how long you want your fridge to run for, how often you're going to be using your inverter, and what you're going to be powering with it, and really think about all those other little accessories like charging a phone or a tablet that really do add up. Now in the Prado setup I built, it was pretty simple. It needed to be able to run a small 20 to 40 litre fridge for about 3 days and nights without requiring additional solar input, which means you could go away for a long weekend, no worries. The other thing though it had to be able to do was power a coffee machine for 1 or 2 pods a day, and that meant being able to power a 1500 watt inverter. Now that's a really critical point. Try and think about how often you're actually going to use this system in a certain way and mark it down for your expectations. Because in my experience, it's not often a system's capacity or capability that fails, but a system fails people's expectations because it's not designed right. A is application. Now you've defined your expectations, you know how long you want certain things to run for, but application is how you're actually going to make that plan work in the real world. So the practical tip here is to take a look at everything that you actually want to run. Fridge, inverter, Anderson plug outputs, SIG sockets, even things like USB chargers, and list them down. If they're not on the list, they don't exist. And from there, you can combine your rough numbers from your expectations, combine it with the actual appliances you want to run in application, and get a fairly good idea of what sort of size battery, charger, or solar setup you're going to need. So taking a look at the Prado setup, we had the expectations and we were able to determine the application, how we could apply that to the real world. It ended up that we needed about 120 amp hours of lithium batteries, and I'll explain why. A fridge of that size uses around 1 amp hour per hour that it's on. So for 3 days and nights, that's 72 amp hours. You might think then that a 100 amp hour battery would have been fine. However, we have to consider the inverter as well, and we want to keep the battery within that safe limit, discharging to around 20, maybe even 10%, but never really going all the way to zero and risking the whole system shutting down. You need to take your time on the application stage, obviously, because you need those details to be right, but it also prevents you from having to add adapters and extra outlets and band-aid fixes later. Application is the step that prevents you from having to constantly change or rebuild your setup every 3 months because it doesn't work. It just doesn't feel right, or you've cut corners. And finally, L is for limitations. Now, if you have a strict budget, you need a portable setup that can only weigh so much, or it needs to be a certain size, then that's actually going to dictate your whole design. The practical step here, again, is to note everything down. The vehicle it's going in, the location, the size and area you're dealing with. If you have a strict budget, you need to know that. For the Prado build, space, weight and budget were all limitations. In terms of space, of course, it had to fit into the Prado, but it also meant that we couldn't have nice molded sides because it would have made it too hard to get in and out. In the same way, weight was a key consideration. If it was too heavy, it was actually too hard to get in and out and defeats the whole purpose of being able to remove quickly to retain use of the third row of seats. Finally, budget. Well, we didn't want to spend the absolute earth to get a perfect custom setup because at its core, this was supposed to be something that was great for a weekend away and could be removed when you didn't need it. So it didn't need to have all the gizmos and gadgets. Just remember that limitations aren't a problem, they actually are a system input and help you design the right setup the first time. Now that's where a lot of people stop, and that's why a lot of 12 volt systems don't feel quite right. Ideal isn't a straight line. It should be a loop. So look back at the pyramid, go back from limitations all the way to inspiration if you have to, expectations, application, and adjust them until you get to that sweet spot where you have a system that works, that you can afford, that fits in your vehicle. The setup in the Prado has remained largely unchanged for 2 years, although I did make a couple of updates and adjustments. The biggest one was probably adding a second fan into the compressor housing of the drawer fridge. So there's a push-pull configuration. The inverter is mounted quite tight behind that fridge there, and I wanted to make sure it had the best chance of dumping all that heat out. The other surprise was that I did have to add a couple more outlets. Now, after I talked about application and expectation, you'd think I would have ticked all the boxes, and to be fair, this system did. It really did what it set out to do. It was perfect for weekends away, but it was actually so good that it stopped being a temporary system that was installed for trips and basically became a permanently installed system that's always in the vehicle. It only ever came out a couple of times, and that's testament to the build quality and the design, but it also meant that we didn't expect to have all these outlets for other items. So looking back, it's probably always a good idea to add a couple extra plugs here and there that are easily accessible. Now in this case, Anderson plugs are easy, just a double adapter. Everything ran back through the shunt, so it was still being measured, and it all worked perfectly. There are probably 2 other changes that could be made that would just bring it to that next level. Number 1, all of the outlets are on the back right of the vehicle. So when the door opens, they're accessible and you can use the drop-down table for things like your coffee machine. But that makes it hard to access them unless the door is all the way open, which is a bit more difficult for quick stops or if you're towing. The other thing is that I used sliding marine stainless brackets for the custom wing on the right-hand side. Now they work perfectly and they still work to this day. Early on though, they were a bit more snug, and over the last 60,000 Ks, they've loosened up a bit. So I think a latch or some sort of positive locking pin would be a good addition as well. Overall, the ideal system meant that this setup in the Prado absolutely did what it set out to do. So it's lightweight, portable, easy to remove and install, probably in under a minute, but it's also robust and reliable and ticks all the boxes. It runs the fridge for 3 days and nights. It easily powers the inverter. Sure, it's not the biggest and best setup, but that's not the point. With the ideal system, you actually get the setup that you want and the setup that you need. And that is the turnaway of 12 volt design, the ideal system. If you've got any thoughts or feedback, please leave a comment. I'd be keen to hear it. And if you need a hand, sing out. I'm always happy to help.